A U.S. warship sailed through the Taiwan Strait on Sunday. The U.S. Navy described it as a routine transit. It comes days after China conducted military drills around the island nation. China staged military drills after Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen concluded her trip to two Central American countries and the U.S. China considers Taiwan a part of its own territory and has promised to what it calls reunification. It has threatened to take Taiwan by force if necessary. Beijing reacted to the US warship sailing through the waters, separating Taiwan and mainland China. It said it will resolutely safeguard its sovereignty and security. This was the first such US operation there since January. The US, South Korea and Japan staged joint naval missile defense exercises. This is to improve security cooperation and respond to North Korea's evolving missile threats. The drills were held in international waters between Korea and Japan. North Korea recently announced that it tested a new solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile. Around 100 people have lost their lives and over 1,000 people have been injured in Sudan. This comes as fierce fighting continues between the Sudanese armed forces and a paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces. The violence erupted on Saturday after a disagreement over the integration of paramilitary forces into the military. This was supposed to be a part of the transition towards civilian rule. The RSF has said that it's in control of the presidential palace, Khartoum airport and other vital facilities. The Sudanese army has denied the RSF's claims. Sudan's former Prime Minister Abdullah has called for an immediate ceasefire in the country. He has called for a return to dialogue between the country's army and rapid support forces. He said there is need of a truce that will establish a humanitarian corridor that allows civilians to have access to medicine, treatment and food. A Russian opposition leader, Vladimir Kara-Murza, has been convicted on charges of treason and denigrating the Russian military. He has been sentenced to 25 years in prison. The charges stem from a speech that he delivered on March 15th, in which he denounced Russia's war in Ukraine. Kara-Murza is a prominent opposition activist who survived poisonings twice. He blamed the Kremlin in both incidents. Russian private military group Wagner has released over 100 Ukrainian prisoners of war. The prisoners have been returned to Ukraine to mark the Orthodox Christian Easter. The Chief of Staff for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that 130 Ukrainian prisoners have returned in quote-unquote a great Easter exchange. It has not been revealed how many Russians have been sent back. Poland and Hungary have banned grain and other food imports from Ukraine to protect their local agriculture sectors. A grain deal between Russia and Ukraine allowed Kyiv to export millions of tons of grain through the Black Sea. Some of the ports were blocked, which caused large quantities of grain to stay in Central European states due to logistical bottlenecks. This affected the local farmers. Ukrainian grain is cheaper than that produced in the European Union. One of the most prominent pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong, Joshua Wong, has been sentenced to 3 more months in prison. Wong has been jailed over an information breach involving a police officer. He has already served 2 years in prison for 3 other convictions. 26-year-old Wong rose to prominence in 2014. He emerged as a leader of Hong Kong's student-led protests. He was one of the 47 pro-democracy figures who have been charged with conspiracy to commit subversion. This is under a national security law imposed by China. A shooting took place in the city of Dadeville in the US state of Alabama yesterday. 4 people were killed and 28 others injured. The attack took place at a dance studio during a Sweet 16 birthday celebration. Law enforcement agencies have not provided any details on the motive of the attack. They have also not revealed whether any suspect has been identified.
And if there is anyone out there that doubts the love that they...
Tens of thousands of people took to the streets of the Israeli city of Tel Aviv. This was to protest against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's proposed judicial overhaul. The crowd chanted the words "democracy" and "shame" as they waved Israeli flags. Israel's central bank and senior finance ministry officials have warned that the judicial overhaul will impact investor sentiment and may hurt the economy. Thousands of people in the Czech Republic's capital Prague protested against high inflation and energy prices. Protesters called upon the government to quit. The protests were organized by a non-parliamentary political party. It criticized the country's prime minister for the government's handling of the energy crisis amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. The party has also blasted the government for allegedly hurting the freedom of speech. Protests against pension reforms broke out in the French city of Renault. Police detained 2 protesters and dispersed others. This comes after French President Emmanuel Macron signed the pension reform bill into law. This move has infuriated French trade unions, who have called for the demonstrations to continue. Macron's legislation will increase France's retirement age from 62 to 64 years. It will come into effect from September this year. Cash-strapped Pakistan has hiked petrol prices. This comes amid the country's ongoing economic crisis and a steep currency devaluation. Pakistan's finance minister said these revisions are necessary. He said this is because the cost of petroleum products increased in the international market over the past 15 days. However, in Pakistan, the prices for diesel and light diesel oil would remain unchanged. Italy's tax and customs police have said that almost 2 tons of cocaine were found floating at sea off the eastern coast of Sicily. Its market value is more than $400 million. This has been termed a record seizure of cocaine. The drugs were stored in about 70 packages, which were held together by fishermen's nets. Authorities say that the peculiar packaging suggests the haul was dumped at sea by a cargo ship to be recovered later. Pope Francis has rejected insinuations that former Pope St. John Paul II may have been a sexual abuser. He called the insinuations offensive and unfounded. The allegation was made by the brother of a girl who went missing 4 decades ago. The girl was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. Wildfires are burning on both sides of Spain's border with France. Thick and dark smoke engulfed the sky above northern Catalonia. Trains and roads connecting France and Spain have been shut. Spain and southern France experienced wildfires over the winters as well. The region has experienced low rainfall due to a severe drought last summer. A forest fire is burning in China's Yunnan province. The wildfire was fueled by strong winds. 6 helicopters have been deployed to help douse the flames. Climate and energy ministers from the Group of 7 nations agreed to cooperate with other countries to achieve their climate goals. The G7 nations have agreed to speed up the development of renewable energy sources and reduce their natural gas consumption. The ministers met in the Japanese city of Sapporo for 2 days over the weekend. Germany's environment minister has said that the Japanese government and Tokyo Electric Power face a big responsibility. This is the handling of the consequences of the reactor catastrophe in Japan's Fukushima. G7 ministers have stopped short of welcoming Japan's plan to release treated water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Australia's Treasurer Jim Chalmers has said that he will announce the details of a wide-ranging review into the country's central bank. The Treasurer said that an independent review has provided 51 recommendations for changing how the Reserve Bank of Australia operates. The review is reportedly expected to have recommended changes to the RBA's policy-making board. Financial giant JP Morgan has reported a surge in its first quarter bank deposits. The US lender reported deposits of $50 billion at the end of March. This comes after the collapse of 2 regional US banks in March. It drove customers to move their money to bigger banks. The chair of the US markets regulator, Gary Gensler, has called for greater scrutiny of hedge funds and other shadow banking systems. Shadow banking systems refer to non-banking financial institutions like insurance companies or investment banks. His warnings came after an upheaval in US government bonds last month. Beverage maker CocaCola will reportedly acquire a stake in Indian food ordering startup Thrive. According to reports, Thrive is considered to be a direct competitor of the more well-known Swiggy and Zomato. If the deal goes through, it would be Coca-Cola's first investment in an Indian startup company. Consumer electronics retailer Best Buy is cutting store jobs across the US. This would affect hundreds of jobs across the retailer's US stores. The reports say the employees can, however, reapply for open positions within the company or receive severance. This comes as the company is making efforts to trim costs and shift its business more towards the e-commerce model. Japanese conglomerate Panasonic Holdings is reportedly considering building an electric vehicle battery plant in Oklahoma. Panasonic is a major battery supplier to electric vehicle maker Tesla. If built, this would be the company's third plant in the US. The news comes amid a surging demand for electronic vehicles globally. French car maker Renault is reviewing the pricing policies of its electric cars worldwide. This is to ensure that prices stay competitive after a string of price cuts by US rival Tesla. Tesla has slashed the prices of its EVs across the globe in the past few weeks. Apple's sales in India have reportedly grown by nearly 50% for the year ending March. Revenue in India touched almost $6 billion compared to $4.1 billion a year earlier. Apple has also significantly increased its iPhone production in India. Production in India accounts for almost 7% of the company's total iPhone production. This report comes as Apple is due to launch its first official store in India tomorrow. Lawmakers in the US state of Montana have passed a bill to ban the short-form video app TikTok. The bill would prohibit mobile app stores from offering TikTok for download to users in Montana. According to the bill, TikTok, as well as mobile app store operators like Apple and Google, will face fines if they violate the ban. Microsoft's Bing may soon replace Google's search engine as the default search service on Samsung devices. This will reportedly put into risk roughly $3 billion in annual revenue for Google. In recent months, Microsoft's Bing has emerged as a potential threat to Google's search engine dominance. This comes after Bing's addition of OpenAI's technology to provide ChatGPT-like responses to user queries. Moving on to sports. In football, contract talks between Lionel Messi and PSG have allegedly ended. PSG want to retain Messi. However, the Argentinian star is unsure about signing with the club again. FC Barcelona have confirmed that they are in talks with their former talisman. Messi has expressed his interest to return to Barcelona. Man City striker Erling Haaland has equalled an English Premier League goal-scoring record. 22-year-old Haaland equalled Liverpool's Mohamed Salah's single-season goal-scoring record. The Norwegian star achieved this feat as Man City beat Leicester City 3-1. Arsenal threw away a 2-goal advantage in their draw against West Ham. Gabriel Jesus and Martin Odegaard put Arsenal in the lead in the first 10 minutes. West Ham bounced back with Syed Benrahma's penalty kick. Jared Bowen scored West Ham's equaliser in the 54th minute. Arsenal continue to lead the league with Man City trailing by 3 points. In cricket, Arjun Tendulkar, son of Indian batting great Sachin Tendulkar, has made his IPL debut with the Mumbai Indians yesterday. The left-arm seamer opened the bowling attack for Mumbai. Junior Tendulkar conceded 17 runs in his 2 overs against the Kolkata Knight Riders. Arjun and Sachin Tendulkar have become the first father-son duo to play in the IPL. In tennis, Andrei Rublev defeaed Holger Rune to win the Monte Carlo Masters. 5th seed Rublev won 5-7, 6-2, 7-5 against Rune. After the match, Rublev said that he struggled to get the title. Rublev's opponent, the 19-year-old Rune, became the youngest Monte Carlo finalist since Rafael Nadal in 2005. Azerbaijan has withdrawn its athletes from the European Weightlifting Championship being held in Armenia. Baku has claimed that an Azeri flag was burned during the opening ceremony. Azerbaijan's sports ministry has urged the European Weightlifting Federation to sanction Armenia. Yerevan has rejected Baku's criticism and said there was no danger to any of the athletes. Alex Rins wins the MotoGP Grand Prix of the Americas. World champion Francesco Bagnaia crashed while leading the pool. Rins' victory in Texas was a first for the LCR Honda team. Italy's Luca Marini, the brother of MotoGP great Valentino Rossi, finished in 2nd place for Ducati. France's Fabio Quartararo and his Yamaha team came in 3rd place, completing the podium. In golf, Matthew Fitzpatrick has defeated Jordan Spieth to clinch the RBC Heritage title in South Carolina. Fitzpatrick became the first Englishman to win the tournament since Nick Faldo in 1984. After the win, Fitzpatrick said he had dreamed of playing in the Harbour Town course since he was a young child. Fitzpatrick has clinched his first win since last year's US Open victory. In ice hockey, the US has defeated Canada 6-3 in the Women's World Championship final. The US scored 2 goals within 30 seconds to stun defending champions Canada. American striker Hilary Knight scored a hat-trick to secure the win. The first stage of the 2023 Archery World Cup is set to begin in Antalya, Turkey. More than 390 archers from 52 countries will compete in the first phase. Winners will automatically qualify for the Archery World Cup final, scheduled in October. Japanese gaming giant Sega is buying Finnish video games developer Rovio Entertainment. The deal is valued at $776 million. Rovio is best known for its gaming franchise Angry Birds. Meanwhile, Sega is credited with creating the game and media series Sonic the Hedgehog. With this, Sega aims to strengthen its position in the global gaming market. The Cannes Critics Week has announced the film selection for its 62nd edition. The lineup has 11 films from emerging filmmakers from countries like Jordan and South Korea. The competition will run parallel to the main Cannes Festival between the 17th and 25th of May. French film director Audrey Diwan will judge the competition. Irish author Kevin Barry's novel Night Boat to Tangier has got a film adaptation. The film stars Irish actors Michael Fassbender and Ruth Negga. Next month, the film will be showcased to global buyers at the Cannes Film Festival. Actor and comedian Pete Davidson is returning to Saturday Night Live in a brand new role. Davidson will make his debut as show host for its 6th of May episode. The comedian first joined the cast of the show in 2014 and continued for 8 seasons. He quit the show in 2022 to make a career in films. Korean pop band Blackpink have announced an encore to their Born Pink tour. It'll be held at 4 different locations in the US, including Los Angeles and San Francisco. The all-girl group began their world tour in Seoul last year. Korean music band WEN have released their first pre-debut single titled On My Way. The news was announced on their social media on Sunday. The official music video for the song will be released on the 27th of April. singer Katy Perry has hinted at working on a new studio album after her Las Vegas residency ends. Perry has also said that a tour might be on the cards. The last time the singer toured was in the year 2018. The singer began her concert residency titled The Play in December 2021. Rapper Bad Bunny is teaming up with Mexican music band Grupo Frontera for a new song. The song marks Bad Bunny's second Mexican collaboration. He collaborated with Mexican rapper Natanael Cano in 2019. The new song will be released later today. Singer Bruce Springsteen has tested positive for COVID. Due to this, he had to skip the inaugural American Music Honors Awards show. The awards were launched as a fundraiser for the Bruce Springsteen Archives. Honoring the singer, New Jersey governor declared his birthday as Bruce Springsteen Day. The Museum of Contemporary Art Gala took place in Los Angeles in the US over the weekend. The show gave attendees a first look at DJ producer Carl Craig's immersive installation. Actors Keanu Reeves and Jodie Foster were among those who visited the show. The exhibit will run till the 23rd of July.